And we're back. So today we're going to talk about a little bit about Amazon, the Amazon service CloudFront. So what is it? So it's a content distribution network. Um, it's a web service it's going to provide. It's going to speed up the distribution of either your static data or dynamic web content or image files to your users. And it's going to do that by using the Amazon Edge locations. So it's going to cache the data, hopefully geographically closer to your users, and then speed up the delivery of your content. Um, there's the concept of or your origin servers, which are going to can be an S3 bucket or an EC2 instance or an elastic load balancer, where your data is going to be stored. That's going to be the primary location, and then you will create a what they call a distribution within CloudFront, and it'll push out that data to the edge locations and make it faster to for your users to access that data. So we're going to create our origin first. So this is we're going to use an S3 bucket, and we're just going to put it someplace far, far away from us. So let's create a new bucket. So we'll create our new bucket. We'll be sure to use a unique name. So let's call it ship rec 7. And let's call it must not contain uppercase characters. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. So we're going to create our bucket. We're going to call it that. We're going to put it in Australia. Yeah, let's do that. We're not going to copy any settings. Let's just go next. We'll just keep all defaults for now. Next, permissions. Let's create the bucket, and it'll just take a second. And so there we go. So we have our bucket. It's in Sydney. Now we do want to make this public, so let's change the permissions. So we will select everyone and give everyone, so we'll give everyone read access to the bucket. Let's just check our permissions. Don't think that's quite right. We want to give everyone read access. Okay, so we have that. So let's just add a file and we'll test access to the files. So let's just go add file and we will select, let's select CloudFront JPEG and we'll upload it. And as you can see, it takes a little bit of time because it is going to Sydney, but it's completed. Let's go to the object and we will set the permissions. Again, remember, we have to make it public. If we click that, it's not going to work. So we're going to make the object public and we'll select make public. All right, and then we'll select our object and hopefully we'll observe it'll take a little bit of time to open. So let's just do that again. You know what? We're going to use a larger file. I don't really feel that file is large enough to really illustrate what we're doing. So let's go back to our bucket and we'll upload a new file. I downloaded this one. It's just a couple of megs versus a few K, which the other one was. So this should hopefully better illustrate. So this is a Sydney skyline at dusk and 2.6 megs. Let's upload that. And then when that's done, we will make public. now we'll click on the link, and hopefully this will somewhat show the, the lag time in loading the image. So there you go. Oh, I did the wrong image. 1 second. And we'll make it public. We'll click on it, and there you can see. Pretty well illustrates the lag. It's pretty obvious that it took some time to load there. So now let's create our distribution so we can get this image out into edge locations and hopefully make it faster for us here in Canada to access this image. So back on our main screen here, our console, you're going to find CloudFront under Networking and Content. So we'll select that, and we'll begin creating a new distribution in just a second. Looks like I have some older distributions here. Hopefully I'm not getting billed for those. I haven't seen them in a while. So we're just going to create a new distribution. There's a couple of options here. You have web, which is just, basic. If you had an HTML site, PHP, CSS, some graphic images. And then there's also our TMP, which I believe you're going to use for rich media content, videos, streaming, that kind of thing. So we're just going to go get started here. Now, there's a lot of options here. I couldn't really tell you what they all are. We're just going to go pretty shallow here and get the bare minimum that we need to do what we do. So we're going to select our origin domain. So if we just click in the box, we're going to see our options, and here are our S3 buckets. We want shipwreck 7 AUS, so we'll select that. Origin path, that would be if you want to not share the whole, well, in this case, the whole bucket. If you want to do a subfolder within that, we could type that in here. The origin ID is S3. It automatically populates that. I'm good with that. The one thing we do want to be sure that we change here is restrict bucket access. The default is no. We want to select yes. This will ensure that the CDN is getting used, and we're forcing access of the CDN URL versus the S3 URL. Now, what else? We need to create an origin ID. Where is that? Grant permissions on bucket. No, I will update the permissions. Yes, update the bucket policy. So permissions, we need to create a new origin access identity here. If we select that, it'll do that. It puts a comment in here. You can edit that as you see fit. For grant permissions on the bucket, yes, we want the bucket policy to be updated. Otherwise, we would have to go in, find this new created identity, I believe, and manually edit that. So we want to ensure that that bucket policy gets updated automatically. Scrolling down, we're going to leave everything pretty much default. We're going to change, what we got here, the viewer protocol policy. We're going to redirect HTTP to HTTPS. You could otherwise restrict it to these two or HTTPS only. Now we're going to leave everything else as default. Time to live, that's kind of important. I'm not going to get into it here though. I think we have everything we need, so let's just go create our distribution. And as you can see, it says it's getting started. Now, apparently this takes some time. So it says using CloudFront to serve private content. For information on how to restrict access to private content by using signed URLs, see serving private content through CloudFront. So let's go. If we go to our distributions here, we'll see our new one is in progress. This is going to take some time apparently. It takes about 15 minutes. So we're just going to pause the video while that's going on. Okay, so that just finished, and yeah, it did for sure take a bit of time. Let's see here, finish time 14:47. Yeah, that took a good 20 minutes. Yeah, if that time is indicative of the time it actually started. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go back to S3 and go to our bucket and get our object. Where are we here? Go in here. go in here and we open a new tab. And you can see it opens a little bit faster. If you want to clear the cache, what you can do here is you can go to permissions, I believe, and you go everyone and access to the object, read object, you unselect, you save. And then I believe if we do this again and save, no, hang on, I think it's critical that we do this. We do this, we go save, and then we go here and we refresh, and we should get an error. It should get to, yeah, the JSON text. We go back in here, we go read object, it saves it, and we go back in and we refresh. And yeah, you can see it again, how slow it is. So what we do now is, let's go get our CloudFront distribution URL rather than the S3 distribution URL. So we'll go back here to AWS, go to CloudFront, find our distribution. Here's our distribution. Let's click on that. And where's the URL? I think this is it, if I'm correct. And if we go in here, and if we just replace all of this, I think what we'll see is a much faster load. Oh, I think we have to make that public. So let's do this. We'll go back here. Here, let's just try that again. I want to take out all of this, I believe. I think I want to take out all of that. Put in that. Go enter. That really doesn't seem that much faster. It could be just the size of the image. Um, oh no, it's still going using S3. What have I done wrong here? Okay, I've been getting very, very frustrated with what I was seeing was, or is, that I will be entering my CloudFront distribution name with the file and hitting enter, and rather than opening it, oh, isn't that funny? It just worked. Oh, that's funny. Let me just check this out for 1 second. Um, what I was seeing before was that it kept redirecting, even though I put in the distribution name, it kept going back to the S3 bucket name. But now it appears to be working and loading pretty quickly. So if we do that, yes, okay. So there, you can observe it's now working. It takes a very, very long time to set up the distribution network. Even after, I believe, you go back here. I just updated it, made some changes as I was troubleshooting this. So anytime you even make a change to your distribution, it will take some time to replicate that, I guess, to all the edge locations. So even a minor change, you'll see this. And even after you've deployed your CDN and it indicates it's deployed, it'll even then probably still take some time for it to fully complete so that you can use your uh, CloudFront distribution URL. So that's it. Thanks for watching.